My name is Jordan, and my business is called Lakefront Painters. We're a painting service, and we operate in Burlington, Ontario.
Amazing. So for you, Jordan, what challenges were you facing with your business before you joined the marketing mastermind?
I would say that there was little to no leverage being created in our marketing strategy, so I found myself doing all the marketing for the business, and I couldn't really rely on any other factors to bring in leads. Um, Facebook was something I kind of took a shot at and just ended up wasting a lot of money. So I fell into a bit of a complaining mentality about Facebook and what I could do. Um, One of the big problems is that I would just put an ad up there and then leave it and let it do its thing. And what I found is that money was just being spent every day on results, but I would be too busy to, keep attending to it. And it just sort of got, it's just one of those things I could just kind of let slip under the rug.
Yeah. So what ultimately made you decide to join the marketing mastermind?
Um, Well, I had, known John to be just someone who provides a lot of value. So, having that connection with him and seeing that he built a marketing mastermind where you would just, be able to learn the skill of running a Facebook ad and then get the support rather than like paying an agency a ton to just take that responsibility off my plate. Because I do believe I need to know how to run my own ads to be an entrepreneur before I would actually like delegate out that responsibility. Um, so it was great to enter in. And the reason that I stayed in the community is because I was just continuously getting support from the other members, which is that accountability piece that I was missing before, where every couple of weeks we would check in, and if I was running an ad and not getting a return, I would have to feel the pain because there would be other people like holding me accountable to that. So that was another thing.
And what hesitations did you maybe have before you joined about the program?
Um, I think with anything, there's obviously a ton of resources out there, and you're just wondering, are you going to get the return on investment? Um, it's as a low budget company, we're only in our second year, and I joined in my first year, so the investment in it was something that I know I could have put towards running my own ads or towards door to door ad spend. Like, to put it into learning is obviously the question of, are you going to get the same return that you would if you just spent it on ads? Um, that would have been my main hesitation.
Yeah. And how did it turn out? Like how much have you been able to book using what you've learned?
Yeah, considerably more than if I just threw it into a Facebook ad. Direction on actually what ads to run, and then direction on how to customize the ads and repost them and continue to tend to them, and then the accountability of how much like I'm spending. There's just way too many things I didn't know before that um, that being able to measure and take a look at with a group and someone who knows what they're talking about allowed me to learn in the process, and also just kept me from putting a lot of dollars out there without getting a good return.
Yeah.
Uh, been able to um, definitely double the amount of jobs I booked from Facebook. And a lot of those came in through organic, which was a strategy I was held accountable to in the program. And my paid ads also performed significantly better. Um, Definitely had a higher average job size on Facebook jobs and booked. I would not know the exact number, but probably about 20 to 25% of my total business size.
And just for people, I know every business is different and everybody puts different amounts into ads. How much as a total do you think you've booked from Facebook over the last 2 years using what you've learned?
Um, for me, it was probably somewhere between 50 to 70,000.
Amazing, man. Amazing. And how has your mindset or your approach to marketing your business changed since you joined the group?
Um, I think that my mindset before, especially around Facebook ads, is that you can just put something out there and let it sit. And because somebody else was successful, you're, going to guarantee that you're going to be as successful or more. That's the feeling. That's kind of what I cling to. But what I've realized is that that is a surefire way to just blow a lot of your ad budget. And what I've learned since is that really the key factor is continuous improvement, experimenting, testing, tracking the right metrics, and staying on top of those numbers. And it also is super valuable to just have feedback from other people who are doing different strategies, but you can't expect that their strategy is going to work in your own business. So it's just very much like constantly thinking, staying on top of it, and trying different things.
Cool. And so for you, what aspect of the mastermind did you find most valuable? Was it the additional training, the templates? Was it the community, or was it the personalized support?
Um, the repetition, so like what the content of the course teaches you about your, leading indicators and your KPIs that you're actually tracking. What are the inputs that you want to be doing at all times? And what are the numbers have to look like for you to get the outcome you want? All those things are like I had no knowledge of before entering in the program. But it's not just hearing it one time. It was the continuous weekly hammering in of those numbers to make sure that you're staying on top of them, because it's easy to just learn something one time and then it just goes out the next week. And so a combination of the information, but the constant revisiting of the information with the community group calls, and then John constantly being there as a resource.
Awesome. So most people join because they want to book more work for their contracting business. But obviously, there's a lot of options out there, right? You could pay a marketing agency to just do it all for you. You could pay per lead on a site like Thumbtack, Angie, HomeStars, those sorts of things. You could obviously just try to figure it all out on your own. You could just kind of like search through the internet and try to like make it custom to you. Or you could obviously join the marketing mastermind. I'm wondering, what do you think makes the mastermind stand out from all of the other options that are out there?
I've never gone into an agency. I used to work with an agency though, and they, guarantee a lot of results. And oftentimes, at least the agency that I worked with, they got people in by, offering them lots of leads, lots of quality leads and conversions, and then they just weren't able to hit the amount, leaving the business owner without money and without any skills. The nice thing that happens in the mastermind is that you ultimately take ownership of your ad spend and feel that no matter what happens, you have control over how much you get out of your investment. It's up to you to go in and learn the content. It's up to you to gauge your results with the support of somebody who is in your corner and already knows what they're talking about, has done it successfully. But I think that whether or not you succeed or fail, at least you get something out of it, and you're a lot more likely to succeed as well. Um, that's probably the main thing. I love that you get to learn through the process of doing it rather than just have somebody else doing it. Because I can engage in a conversation with John when I need help, and I actually understand what is happening in my ads just as well, or not as well as John, but I have an understanding of what's going on, rather than just like having it totally be out of my hands.
It's amazing. So how do you feel about the future of your business now? And you're obviously going to go for a big number next year, I'm sure. Um, Compared to before you joined, like how does that differ for you?
I feel that I can, or what I really want next year is to up my content, and really up the quality of my content. I found a lot of success in the game of creating videos and being constantly present on community groups, running ads that um, aren't just kind of like a before and after picture, the classics, but focusing a little more on the quality and then just constantly staying on top of it. Well, what was the question again?
Yeah, just how you feel about the future of your business now that you know how to do this, now that you know a little bit more about how Facebook works and how to get work that way. Like you're not just relying on one lead source anymore. How does that change your outlook on your future?
Um, it's a good question. I think especially when the season comes when we're going like full steam into production, Facebook um, takes over as like one of the main sources of lead generation in a successful business. And if you can't be one of those businesses that knows how to capture attention on Facebook and capture leads on Facebook, then you're just leaving out this whole world of potential revenue that um, I in my first couple of um, cracks at it basically just didn't get it all. We focused a lot in the winter on door to door, and then in the summer, when there's a little bit less time and energy and we're full into the swing of things, um, then it becomes really important to have other ways that you can get leads. So knowing that I have Facebook and I have a clear strategy and I have support and all these skills, I know that we can definitely do about 70 to 100K off of Facebook, and I'm super positive about that. And the amount of brand awareness and presence that you get as just a added bonus of posting on Facebook even translates into door to door. I'll knock on people's door and they'll recognize me for my videos that I've run. They'll recognize me from the Facebook posting, and the constant accountability to like stay on top of those things is what allows that to come to fruition.
Amazing, man. So for the amount that you had to invest to join the mastermind, would you say that it was worth it?
100%. Um, you just have the clear ROI at the end of the day. If I hadn't spent the money to invest in learning the skills, I wouldn't have constantly posted on my page to have a steady organic amount of posts. I wouldn't have kept up in posting in community groups. I wouldn't have learned how to write copy and film my own video ads and then post them. And to be honest, I would have just wasted way more money on ads without getting any results. Um, which I'm glad that I was able to save and then even just profit from.
Amazing. So if somebody was watching this, they're on the fence about getting our help, about joining the mastermind, about giving it a try, what would you tell them?
I would just think about think about what you're looking for, the upside and then the downside. Really, what is the worst that can happen? Like I said, you're given the tools, so no matter what happens, what you spend on the program, what happens, you're gonna walk away with information and knowledge that's worth the amount you're paying, in my opinion. And the what's more likely to happen is that you'll get the information, the knowledge, and then you'll get a huge return on investment from applying it. Um, so I would just say, think about what you want in the upside, and then what is actually the worst that that can happen.